Hi, this is Dr. Stephanie Wautier, and I'm the host of Conversations with a Chiropractor. This is not a health how-to, but rather a conversation with some amazing people I've had the pleasure of being with on my journey of life. Think of it more like Tuesdays with Maury, a fireside chat, or chicken soup for the soul. Grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and enjoy this conversation with a chiropractor. Danielle, thank you so much for being on this podcast.
Thank you for having me.
So I want to tell the funny story of how we met.
Okay.
I was a mom wanting to do some kind of grown-up family pictures. It was 2016, and I remember harassing you, like calling you and emailing you, because people were like, Daniele Carol is the best. You've got to have her do your family pictures. And you were like, I just had a baby. I promise I'll do them, but I just had a baby. So I felt like perhaps forever I would be known as the annoying woman who harassed you.
No, I don't remember that. Now that you say that, I do remember our first pictures were in like November or December of 2016.
Yep, November.
November. Yeah, I do remember that. That's too funny. And Asher was born in October of 2016.
So you were a fresh postpartum
mama.
a fresh mom with number 3.
Mhm.
And you've always done beautiful pictures. And since that time, you've done business pictures for me. And now you just did my son's senior pictures. So you're definitely our family's photographer.
Yeah.
How did you get into photography?
I was 16 years old in high school, and one of my really good friends was taking a photography class through school, and I wanted to hang out with her more. And so I signed up, and I took my junior and senior year, took photography classes through school. And then my teacher at the time was a really big wedding photographer out where we lived. I had asked him if I could come to some of the weddings with him, and he agreed. He loved my work that I had done in class and just gave me a camera, told me what to do, and I just went around and shot a bunch of pictures.
I don't want to say assistant because you were actually taking the pictures.
Yeah.
But feet wet, boots on the ground, there you are.
Diving right in. Yeah.
Wow.
And I loved that so much. There was one brick and mortar photographer that was in Upland, and we would go to the street fairs, the downtown farmers market type thing. And I would harass him and beg him to let me work in the studio. I don't know why I was so motivated to be there, but I was like, my mom can drop me off or I can drive. And
This is in high school.
This is in high school. And I was very persistent with him. Finally, he let me hang out and start helping out and things like that. And he did very high-end portraits and very high-end weddings, like thousands. And this was back in early 2000s.
Where was this again?
Alta Loma, California, Upland, California, Rancho Cucamonga, that area, east of LA.
So you went to high school in California?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So it started out there, and then Jerry was the guy. He let me work for him there, and it was all film back then. It was medium format film. So I would sit at the top, like behind the couple, and we would project the stuff onto the wall, and they would order pictures like that. I had been going on weddings with him and shooting, and I was up there, and it came to my rolls of film. And I remember that bride being so in love with the pictures that I had taken, and just, oh, I love that one and that one. And can I get this one? I remember that moment being I should do this. I love this. And that was it sparked the whole thing to really want to go into it as a career. Like, I remember that as my moment.
Was still in high school. You were still in high school.
I was still in high school.
I think about this, like, with whatever profession, like people who are on the stage, and it's that like audience feedback that fuels them. So it sounds like you were really fueled by this like reaction to the pictures that you took.
Yep, absolutely.
So here we are in Marquette, Michigan. Tell me what happened between high school and how did you get here?
So high school in Alta Loma. And then I went to Brooks Institute of Photography, which was in Santa Barbara. And while I was in school, my parents moved to Rochester Hills, Michigan.
Okay.
And then after school, I moved in with them. So I drove cross country with one of my best friends
Mm-hmm.
and moved in with them there. And then my would-be ex-husband was living down there, and I met him. And then we moved up here because he was from up here.
Okay.
So in 2006, we moved up here, and I've been here ever since.
Wow. So California, of course, is so known for the arts and the television industry. And this place that you went to school for photography must have been very elite.
It was a 3 years, year-round, all-immersive, just photography school. We took 2 classes at a time, 1 photo class, 1 elective, which was also super photo focused.
Like editing and was there
science. So if we had light science classes to learn about how all light works, all different types of bulbs and how light reacts with different things. And
Wow.
yeah.
Which is why the pictures turn out so amazing.
Yeah.
Because you're like the lighting expert. Like I remember having an amazing reaction to photos you had taken. I look so good.
Yeah.
How did you do that? What tricks did you use?
Yeah.
Oh, just lighting.
Yeah.
No filters, just lighting.
Just lighting.
Natural.
Yeah. You hear me say it all the time. Let me check my light. Let me check my light.
Yes. So 2006, you come up to the UP.
Yep.
And in the 10 years from 2006 to 2016, you had 3 children.
Yes.
And launched a business in Marquette.
Yes.
So you launched a business that was not brick and mortar at first. Is
Correct.
that right?
Yeah. I started the business when I lived downstate. I was working for a photography company and then a couple other photographers, like assisting and stuff. And then started the business and started to pull in my own clients. 21 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted to do it. I wanted to quit the other jobs and everything. So once I knew I had enough clients for the next year booked up, and I knew the wedding industry, so I did a lot of that. There were some big event type things that I would go to down there to photograph and stuff, but I really loved weddings at the time.
So you're building your business downstate, and you have all these clients that you've gotten, which I'm sure was you were probably very courageous as a 21-year-old to be building your business, because Detroit area, Ann Arbor, I imagine there was a lot of photographers.
Lots of photographers, lots of people, lots of competition.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, exactly. So I had started the business down there, and then once I moved up here, I would travel back and forth. So I'd book things downstate. My parents still live down there, so I would book some stuff, stay with them, and then come back up here and started to try to build the business up here from home at the time. Yep.
That is so difficult to be like living and having businesses in 2 different cities that are so far away.
Yep.
So you ended up buying Lemon Studio, which was like a downtown staple photographer. Tell me about that process.
So in 2016, a little birdie came and told my assistant at the time that Lemons was for sale. And we were looking to get out of our location in Negaunee just because we had outgrown it. I went in and checked it out, and it was perfect because it was already a photo studio. So it was pretty much already set up. The current owners at the time were just wonderful and ready to move on to other things, and really helped out a lot with that transition of buying the building and moving in there and taking over their clients and things like that. It was finalized in March of 2017.
Okay.
Yep.
And so here we are in 2024, and you're still in that space, but your business is changing a little bit and has changed.
It really has. Yeah, it's really evolved over. I started out with mostly weddings, and then those people started having babies and families, and so I segued into that. And then I did lots of newborns when my baby started to arrive. I remember wanting to take pictures of my own baby and seeing all these beautiful posed portraits of babies. So I tried it out on a friend's, and it was so difficult. It was so hard. I had no idea what I was doing. I knew the light. I didn't know how to work with a baby.
Oh my gosh, probably the most difficult subject matter, right? Unpredictable.
And just floppy and just everything. It was great, but I didn't know what I was doing. So I went to a couple of seminars and classes and worked with the women who were already doing this and top of their game and learned from them, because if something's really difficult, I have to figure it out. I'm not going to just stop at, oh, I can't do this. So I really focused on the newborns, started to do fewer and fewer weddings. And then I got into the Lemon Studio, and they had a huge senior business. So I started picking up more seniors, ended up loving that just as much as I loved the newborns, and even more so pushed the weddings to the side. And then basically 2020 came and things all hit the fan.
COVID.
And I will say, like, disposable income that people use for photography kind of dwindled at that point. And I was already into the business side, the headshots, branding, billboards, products, things like that. I didn't take a lot of it just because I was so busy with other things. And so I never promoted that I did that kind of stuff, but it became more of the bread and butter. Businesses still had to have things done. They had the budget for it. They needed it.
And as a business owner, we were all in this survival mode, and also the whole world was in this, what's happening? How long is this going to happen? I think so unpredictable, right? And any successful business owner would tell you that your ability to pivot proves how successful you can be, or just even that you didn't close your business down. You and I probably have several even mutual acquaintances who didn't make it through COVID.
Right. Yeah.
Bravo to you for being able to like pivot and shift and continue to use those skills, continue to benefit people. You have to move and change and shift. And going back to how you even got away from the wedding industry, I can imagine with 3 young kids and the intensity of those weddings and the weekends, and like basically you probably as a wedding photographer are booked up every weekend.
Exactly.
And I mean,
that started to become really hard on the family. Yeah, absolutely.
So it's 2020 and you're shifting and your business is changing organically and then tell me what's happened since then.
It was a great transition. I really like where I'm at with the business side of things. It's crazy to be here at all. Like you said, pivoting and then molding it to what fits life today, basically. I have always wanted to produce a coffee table album. When I was between 16 and early 20s, I would spend my time in Barnes and Nobles, their coffee shop, grab a coffee and just sit in their art section. I don't like to read books. I like to flip through pictures.
That's so visual. Absolutely.
Audiobook, looking at. So because I've transitioned into the more business type stuff, it's not as creative. It's much more straightforward, but that lighting has to be perfect.
Exactly. Everyone wants to look good, no matter what you're doing.
And that's, but it's not as super creative, and it's not as time consuming either. So it's really freed up a lot of time. And that's where I decided to produce the book.
So I saw this on Facebook and I thought, oh my gosh, this is brilliant. This is spectacular. I want this book. So you have photographed people of every age from 1 to 100.
Yes.
How was that process?
A lot of fun. Yeah, I was really excited about it when I started. I wanted the visual of turning the page and having people age. And that's where it started. Just that whole idea of going from 0 to 100. I have about 6 people left to photograph now.
Okay.
So I photographed 94 people already.
Oh my gosh.
Which has been just really interesting. So I did a headshot of everybody, and then I actually photographed everybody's hands, which nobody knows about yet.
Oh my gosh. Is it okay to publish this secret?
Yes, because we'll be producing the book here pretty quick. Not only will you see everybody age and the passing of time in their faces, but you'll also get to see it in their hands, which I think will be really cool in the book. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Even I'm an ex-critical care nurse, and my mom had like a debilitating disease, and I used to do her nails all the time. And there were a few times where I took pictures of our hands together because I used to use those little nail stickers on her. And I would take a picture of like my hand under her hand and like to show my sisters out of town like what her nails looked like. And those are some of my most precious memories.
Right.
Is like our hands like on top of each other. So that's really beautiful.
Yeah.
Where can people find this book? How can people purchase it?
Once it's published, it's going to be available right from me to begin with.
Okay.
And then I'm going to try to figure out a couple different locations maybe in town to get it into. And I'm submitting it for the next time capsule.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
I have a really good friend who is actually 31 in the book. And she was in and we were talking about it and she suggested I submit it for the time capsule. So the time capsule gets buried and then they'll open it in 25 years.
The city of Marquette.
Right. And
Okay.
they just opened their last one.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I was like, perfect timing. Absolutely perfect timing.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Would you ever do like the TV6 craft show, or do you think that you'd have your book in some of those locations?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know yet. That's a good idea though.
So in order for people to find your book, tell us how we can find you on social media.
Okay. So it's Danielle Carol across all platforms.
Okay.
So if the website, daniellecarol.com, Facebook, Danielle Carol company. But if you just put in my name, I come up. All the Google searches, it's my face right there.
Wonderful. Your beautiful face, which we'll put a picture of your face on the cover of this podcast episode. So, Danielle, now I'm going to talk a little bit about how you met me. We know how we met, as you being my photographer, but you're also my patient. And so you originally came to me. Let's talk a little bit about your body, your physical body.
What's funny, you remember how you approached me for the photos. I remember how I approached you for chiropractic care. I had come in to deliver your photos and I had been in so much pain. And I'm looking around going, can I talk to you and I remember, I go, can I talk to you for a minute? And we came in the office and I remember just laying it all out. I had my twisted psoas. That was one of the first trigger points of everything. And I had gotten a shot for it. I had seen a specialist that said nothing was wrong and all these things. And I just felt compelled to tell you the story. I wasn't even a patient yet, but I just wanted to tell you the story. And then from there, you were like, I have ideas. And you fixed it. I remember that.
Wow,
Right.
That's beautiful and profound. And you know what I think is so cool too is that so many people are like, that's not a chiropractic problem, right? It's in my leg, or my problem is in my arm, or my problem is here or there outside of the spine. And a lot of times chiropractic can help. That's very cool.
I think it was just on top of everything, you really listening to what was going on. It definitely helped. Yeah.
I'm so glad. A lot of times on that first or second visit, I tell my patients that I'm really a detective.
Right.
I'm really like trying to find out, okay, is it starting from here? Is it radiating from here? Is like, where is the source? And then what is the domino effect down the line? So.
Exactly. And with most doctors, traditional doctors, if they can't see it, touch it, feel it, smell it, they don't know what to do. And that's unfortunate that we don't see anything isn't the answer, that you can go further and look into other ways to get better.
Absolutely. What a beautiful relationship we have. Patient, chiropractor, photographer, woman, family member, and I'm so grateful for you in my life.
Yeah, I am so grateful for you, Stephanie. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being on this podcast.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for listening. If you've enjoyed this podcast, would you please rate it, review it, like, or subscribe? You can find me on social media at wautierwellness.com, Dr. Stephanie Wautier on Instagram, or Wautier Wellness Chiropractic and Massage on Facebook. And I'm so curious where your next conversation will take you.